Hey, there everybody is. Give this a second. Listening to a podcast. Don't want to air it on my live stream, so I figured I'd throw on the headphones and start up a video and glue up a few rims and tires. Stopped by the local hobby shop today, Traxxas supplier, on the way home, and shockingly enough, they've got quite a few Traxxas. They've been expanding, fairly new in carrying RCs, and started carrying Traxxas I think a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. But they've been slowly building up. Now No Prep's big and hot. They've been, bringing in some stuff for that. They picked up some tires and stuff. They had a set of Hoosiers front and rears, 2 sets of Hoosiers front and rears. Hadn't found any of those in a while anywhere. Everybody's out of stock. And then a set of Proline rims here, Pamona's front and rears. And I got rear tires, so I figured I'd pick up a set of Hoosiers and put these on the TARP or the Redshift, either one of those. And then the DE accelerators from there will go on the 13.5. I'm going to get a set of the Big Daddies from 13.5, but I glue these up, so I figured I would take and run a quick video gluing these things up. No big deal. Simple, easy stuff. Wipe them off a little bit. A little bit of powder. Get a little bit of rubbing alcohol and wipe them down real fast. A little bit of alcohol will clean them up real quick. Tip here, if you got chrome wheels and you're trying to glue chrome wheels, take a few seconds and remove the chrome on the inside. Any chrome on the inside here on this ring, outer rings here, that's for your tire ride. That's your glue ring. If you got the chrome on there, remove that chrome out of there before you try to glue them up, because the glue don't stick to that chrome very well. It'll separate, pull off, and your tires won't stick down really well. So that's something they tell you to do. Not done it often, but I've never done anything super, really high speed before. So bashing stuff, I just glue them down. But for this kind of stuff, running high speed, you don't want them kind of wiped down, cleaned up, get a good spot to seal them up for. Careful not to wipe the tire too much. Don't want to wipe off the lettering. Okay, so I'll wipe down a little bit of the alcohol, a rag, clean them up a little bit. Got some Proline glue, some tips. Now, got a second one. I've had the glue for a little while. Had to glue the DE wheels, so I got it a few months back. So, in the concept or process of the last week or two, been looking through and finding things I need and trying to find a good wheel balance, or at least a decent one. You can find the energy ones, and I won't buy energy if it was the last RC company on earth. So that was out of the question. And I finally went over to A-Main and took a look, and they had the J Concepts. It's the price a unit, $74, I think. But had it in my cart, was thinking about it, and went by a couple days and went back to thought about go ahead, hard finding anything else. I've been checking RC Mart and all sorts of places, not finding anything decent at all. And I thought, okay, well, I guess. So went back to A-Main, and they're out of stock. I'm like, ah, crap. So I went ahead, jumped over to eBay for a quick second, and lo and behold, I found the J Concepts piece on eBay. One, it was at Sierra Hobbies, and I purchased a few things from Sierra Hobbies before. It just takes them a week, 10 days, sometimes almost 2 weeks to ship the item out. I think they like got them in reserve. Now the interesting thing, no, I didn't buy it from Sierra, and they didn't get it from A-Main, because A-Main was out of stock unless Sierra Hobbies ordered it to put it up. So until they get it from A-Main, so they can't ship it out to me. It's possible that they bought the last one that A-Main had and listed it up on eBay, and I bought it from them. But potential, but I kind of doubt that's the case. At any rate, I do have the J Concepts tire balancing system on the way, and I'll be able to go through all the tires and get them all balanced and ready to go. And that's one of the important things for sure at speed. If you ever had anything on wheels going fast, you'll know when your wheels are out of balance immediately. And an RC is no different. Actually, probably more important, because the gyroscopic effect is pretty big on a out of balance wheel, and on a 5-6 pound car, that it overtakes them pretty heavy. See a lot of people spinning out and have to wonder how many of them may be having a balance issue, or one tire is starting to shake and just sends them sideways. I wish I do. Let me do this before I do a glue. Let me grab my other piece back here. Uh-oh. Trying to wipe this thing down. Haven't pulled it off the shelf back here in damn near 5 years, 10 years, and that was just to move it out of the way for rearrange stuff for a minute, clean it up. Back then, All right, that's a little better. Got an old DeBro prop balancer. When I say old, I bought this used in a package lot from a guy that was selling out after like 20 years, 30 years in the hobby. He said most of the stuff he bought in the early 80s. So this is probably a late 70s to early mid 80s DeBro prop balancer. But it works pretty well. Hadn't been off in a while though. Try to clean this thing up a little bit. Because it's dirty or bent or something. Shouldn't be bent. It's sitting over there nice and not bent. Let me clean it up a little bit. I know what I can use. Trying to get the peg off so I can turn around and pull this thing off. Try a little mousse spray. Shoo! Just like that. All right. Now, what I used to do is at least attempt to, I'm putting that on backwards because you almost have to on the one side. Pretty out of whack. So there we go. It wasn't quite centered. Let me do that again. Something ain't right there. Okay, that's a little better. Tighter is still out of whack. The rim's running smooth now. Okay, so try to see if we can give this a little roll around, change its position, get it a little smooth around there maybe. That's a lot better. No, I'm not really going for balance here. I'm just going to make sure the tire is nice and true, spinning well, the rim's spinning properly. Turn that back a little bit and dirty. gently knocking that down. Try again. Yeah, that tire's spinning a lot better right there. Not real fond of the way the foam's laying in it. Do a little push here. It looks like it's kind of pushing towards the front side. Looks a little better. Sure. So what I did is I rolled the tire back off the lip so I can run a couple drops around, and I'm going to pull it a little bit as I do it. A light line, don't need a lot. You just want to get a nice little bead of glue going. Just take a quick look. Okay. I just pull it up off the back of the edge bead. Let it come in. Do a little bit of wiggle back and forth. Yeah, we'll do the next side. sure it's all the way around. A little pressure and roll. All right. About it for you. Yeah, I just seen that. Oh, hey, she's gonna fall off there. Turn around this way. Give her a spin. Wants to run that way. That's why that bead's on this side that pushes up against her and stops it from falling off. Or slow her down a little bit. Don't need it to spin forever because it will. We'll check where balance is at real quick. So you got a tire balancer. You know, it's a good thing to do. Okay, so you can see I'm a little out of balance there. Heavy side drops down to the bottom. So what you would do is put a little clay, modeling clay, blue tack. I think I've got some is what I'm going to use. And you know, drop a little blue tack right about here. Give it a light spin. And you're looking for a balanced tire. You just don't want it to stop and roll for a heavy spot. You want it to roll and just like that. Stopped rolling, went backwards. You want it to continue rolling. Once you know, just a little bit, put it on there and you should be good to go. And so your tire's well balanced. Once your tire's balanced, that's going to keep you in good shape. I got to do this with all the tires, so I'm not going to be balancing anything here. One tire into the tire. Like I say, because the back of the edges fall flat, there's no hole to slide in because it's just buttoned up to each other. Slide that one on backwards. Piece of fuel tubing as a stop. Put some pressure on the spring. Let me see. You can already see I don't like the way that thing is setting just in the foam. A little crown, but the crown was towards the not towards the middle of the tire, so okay, let's see what she looks like. Looks a little better. Let's see. We are in there. Okay. Okay, that's the tire, not quite. It's got a little woggle to it. So before you glue, you put it on your balance or you spin, you do a little push and pull until it spins nice and smooth. Sometimes your foams are a little bunched up in one spot, stretched in another. So what I do a lot of times, I'll try to show you here, is just kind of pull it and you'll create a little gap and then just push it forward. And you're basically rolling the tire across the rim. So the tire in foam is moving inside a little bit back and forth. And you're just kind of moving that tire around the rims. You can use this to, like, it's got the number lettering here. You can use this to line up your rims on whatever you need to do. I'm just doing it to get them to kind of, fit the rim better, be more seated in the bead. Foam's rolling a little bit better inside the tire, so everything's a little smoother. And that's going to help, keep that tire balanced. when you go to balance it, after you balance it, let's see, a little bit of push. It's not looking too bad on the centering. Just kind of push it down here and work it over a smidge. Okay, now let's see what we get here. Okay, so not as bad. Still got just a little. What I'm doing now, I'm going to spin it again, is I want to see, I got a little wobble. You should be able to see if you especially look down on the bottom here, just a little wobble here in the tire. It's kind of back and forth. I'm looking at the edge of the rim. I'm going to focus on one position at the edge of the rim and watch it and see, is the rim actually moving or is this the tire? The rim, sometimes you tweak them a little bit, get them warm, leave them flat, and they'll set. But you'll be able to see it, wobble back and forth if you're looking at one spot in the corner of the rim. It does appear to be the rim. So now the question is it the rim or is it the way this tire is setting on this piece here? Because there's a little wiggle there. That's why I kind of push them tight, because that will help. There we go. Yeah, it was. It's not quite setting on the spinner axle smooth. You see now it's a lot. No more little wiggle. So it's ready to glue. Okay, we'll do this one now. Now you do have to work fast once you put that glue down and start putting your tire on. You got just a little bit of time to make it, smooth. Okay. And again, rolling the tire bead to the inside of the glue bead on the rim to hold it in place, keep it out of the way. Okay. Okay. Should be good to go. Let's see what we're at. Okay, she's still a little wiggly again. Now, like I say, you got a little bit of time, not much, but you can push and move that foam around, make that foam nice and, properly setting. Because, when you're moving it, you're moving that foam. If you don't get it set right, it's going to bug on you a little bit. Okay. It looks pretty good. It still looks like it's got a little spot. And just kind of work the edge here and the tread side and see if we can smooth it up a little bit. Even worse. Still a little off. Not better. Still a little. This is the finicky stuff right here. Trying to get all these things set right. It's glued, so all I could do is unglue it. But it's pretty good. I think you just got to get it. That's a little better. It's still off a little bit though. Now, even though the tire is glued, it's not going to move. That same, rolling, pushing action, I'm pushing a little, that will move the foam. So you can kind of coax that foam a little bit. It ain't going to go much. It ain't going to go fast. But you can coax that foam around a little bit. Let me speak with English today. Coax that foam around a little bit and make that set maybe a little better. And I'm never this picky. And I'm an anal retentive kind of guy, but when it comes to drag racing, you have to be. Because that little shimmy, you're going to throw your front end shimmy, and you're going to be pushing and moving, and you're going to be darting off most likely. That's a lot better. So yeah, a lot smoother. It's still got a little, but I think that will be good after it's run a few times. It'll settle in, and that's it. That's gluing up tires. Doesn't matter what they are. Again, if you got chrome rims, black chrome or whatever chrome, you want to take and clean off that chrome where you're going to put the glue. You got the bead, the edge of the bead, and then the flat spot, and that's where your glue is, on the flat spot. And some of that glue will push up on the side. You don't want to put a lot in there. You put too much in, you put the bead in there, it spits all out, and now you got glue all over. A lot of problem. People over glue. It's just a thin stream. You see me, I just kind of really lightly dragging it and fairly quickly, getting it in there and done out that way. That's about it. That's gluing RC tires 101. It's quite a simple process. If you got a balancer, it's the way to go. You don't, the J concepts I got coming, I think it's $74 is what they are, 72, 74, something like that. You don't need a $74 balancer. I was looking at the Exceed one. They were like 23, 24. I couldn't find one anywhere. Out of stock everywhere. So, the Bro, I think they're $26. And a little work. Remember to, find the one smooth hole. I try to use the front for my spring side. And then I put my other prop side on backwards. Slide your fuel tubing on to hold it all into place. And because unless you got a wide rim, something that's got some thickness in there, you don't want these two cones together. You want to use the flat side of the back second cone to hold the tire flat, and make sure your first cone here is centered and well placed in the rim, because if it's not, it's going to be off, and that one looks terrible. But I got to do the same thing. I just got to push it around and get it rolling smooth. So that's it. I'm going to shut this down if I can find my piece here. Get this thing shut down. But that's balancing wheels 101. I'm going to, like I say, I think I'm going to throw these either on the TARP or the Redshift with the other Hoosiers in the back for right now. Take the DE accelerators off. Move the DE accelerators over to the 13.5 rig. That's going to get some Proline beadlocks, F11 beadlocks, as well as a set of Big Daddies. I think I'll put on that the Proline Big Daddies. So that's about it. Thanks a lot for joining, hanging around. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, share if you would. Trying to grow the channel, help everybody out. Haven't done a lot of this stuff myself, so I have to stuff I got to relearn. Some of the stuff I've never done, like the motor analyzer and the corner scale. So we're all going to be learning together on that. Yeah, let me go ahead and throw that on there. But you guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you later.